talked to Chris and left a message from this morning. I believe we need to take 100 of the questionnaires that were given out at the neighborhood planning sessions, and we need to send them to the major high schools. They're going to spend, even if they come in from junior high, you're going to spend 4 years in high school. You may not take a year off. You'll take 4 years for college, go for a master's, 2 more. What would you like to come home to Cedar Rapids for? What can we provide for you now? What plans would you like to see implemented in 10 years? You talk about they're our future, well, then they need to take part in the future. At 18 years old, 17 years old, they're already planning for a career in the military or out in the real world, yet you don't give them the credit. Now, I know teenagers, I got 5 young adults myself, you know, they are not going to spend 6 or 8 hours at some meeting repetitively throughout the winter and summer. It's just not kids. So I look forward to you guys go ahead and taking that initiative. Now, for a little more complex issue, first and foremost, I want to make sure that this works right. Some of you have heard this, some of you haven't. But as we get ready for November, I'm taking somebody's job. This is the end. It's not politics as usual no more. Right there tells you, we've been dealing with this memorandum for 10 years. And my blood pressure is a little funny right now, a little nervous. Because they told me if I come down and talk to you folks about this, I stood a chance of getting arrested. The Cedar Rapids Police Department put out the memorandum, yet the sheriff who takes care of the Lane County Courthouse was not aware of a threat to go in and shoot up the county courthouse. Therefore, it tells you it's a fictitious memorandum. Either that or Mr. Zeller's lying. Every one of you should be ashamed of yourself, and this is where it gets touchy. I want you to all understand, in the public too, this is not a threat to cause harm to anybody. If I was going to do anything, I'd have sure in hell done it long before 10 years. Let's pretend it's not Robert Bates. Let's pretend it's one of these guys that are mentally unstable, like my son, off his meds. And he goes down to Freedom Fest and he self-implodes himself like they do around the country. He's got weapons, you don't have detectors, you have no safety factors in place at all. And he kills 100+ people plus collateral damage. Then you're standing there with your stuff in your hand, aren't you, Mr. Galley, Mr. Fagan, Mr. Bosme, Mr. Shea? It's nice to see your wife's volunteering over there. Keep her comments to herself, please. Doesn't matter if I need dishes, or if I want a bed, or if I want pots and pans, or if I want toilet paper to wipe my ass. That's my business as a flood victim. You should be ashamed of yourself. Good thing you can't say nothing back, ain't it? Ain't that a bitch when I come up here and you can't say nothing back? I love it.
Could you please keep
Listen, what you need to do is you need to worry about this right here. Quit playing nicey nice when you come to my booth at Hobie Days and then sit up here and try to dictate to me. This is a serious allegation. And when we ask for information, we ask you guys to do something, we ask to be responded to, that's what I'll do as a city council member. I'm not going to lie to the people. I'm not going to bullshit them. You know, you guys, listen, it took 11 months to get me, it took 11 months for me to get $900 for clothes. You think a man my size is going to walk to one of your little giveaways and get something? You need to think about the personal effects that you're causing, this damage you're doing to this city. Sure, it's important to get the businesses back, but it's more important to take care of the people, because the people put you here, not the businesses, or did they? You see, when you spend $30,000, $40,000 on a campaign that pays $15,000, there's a problem. I intend to spend not a penny this time. You do the math. I spent $100 that my mother gave me, had a tragic fire and lost everything 10 miles out of Brooklyn for bikers with kids with cancer. I'm sure it is.
Thank you for your comments.
I'd ask for additional time. Take a vote. Do your job. You've never done it yet.
No, your time is...
You don't have the authority to say no, Mr. Fagan. I asked for a council vote to finish. Maybe I'll finish playing the tape. Would you like to hear what's on the tape?
Mr. Bates, your time.
I'm sure Channel 2 will.
Mr. Bates, your time is
Yeah,
expired.
okay. Yeah, I want to be able to sure get away. You guys are going to arrest me tonight. You going to face up? Okay. But it's just easier when I got
Is there anyone else that would like to come and comment? Welcome, Chris.
Madam Mayor and members of the council, my name is Patty Savell. I reside at 805 H Avenue Northwest, and I'm here tonight in regards to the cats of the flood-affected areas. Since rebuilding my home, we're 3.5 feet of water, we're on the main floor. I have stray cats in my garbage, stray cats giving birth to kittens in my covered boat, stray cats relieving themselves in my yard, and stray cats wandering around my neighborhood. I've called animal control because of the city ordinance at least a couple times in the week. Instead of being told the usual, we'll have someone out right away, I hear things like things are different due to the flood. I hear that the live traps have been sprung and others traps have been stolen. It seems as though the city ordinance is no longer in place for the animals. The TNR idea seems great. Trap the stray cats, spay, neuter them, give them their shots, and tip their left ears or however you do it. But who's responsible? Who's responsible for keeping up on these rabies shots that have to go once a year or more? Disposing of the feces that they leave behind. Doctor bills if perhaps the stray cats have rabies and bite a child in that area that's rebuilding, an adult, or possibly a homeowner's pet. And in fact, euthanizing that cat if they can catch it. Neglect. A lot of animal lovers, myself included, see people that have too many animals in their home and they're taken from them because of neglect or unhealthy conditions. However, the people that are feeding the cats in the area around my neighborhood are in these areas where the houses have caved in the basements, the grass is growing, and they're unhealthy environments because, in fact, I've seen raccoons and possums crawling out of the same holes the cats have. These people are up on porches, in yards of homes that are still owned by homeowners, and I'd like to find out who is authorizing these people to feed the cats, because that's a great thing to feed the cats. But if you look at studies about feral cats and free-roaming cats, they show that feral cats don't keep other cats out of that area. Yet articles by the Iowa Humane Alliance state that if these cats don't go back to their colony after they're trapped and neutered, others will just move in. Well, they're still going to move in. The cats may be the second most leading reason in areas, not just in Iowa, but behind habitat destruction like songbirds and birds, any prey that is already preyed on by other predators that are natural. Because they not only eat the food that's left for them, but they still continue to hunt the natural prey and can eat prey up to their own size. I'm concerned when I see people trespassing on these properties in the neighborhood, a neighborhood that you, the council, and possibly the city, I'm not sure who did it, stated was on alert and told that these flooded neighborhoods, only the homeowners and those that held permits for construction to rebuild were allowed. Who's responsible for these people, and who gives these people the authorization to feed them? Because if the homeowners give the authorization, that's one thing. But if these people that are on these properties get hurt, like fall down, fall through holes in the wall, trying to get around or walking up on people's porches, that homeowner, I believe, is responsible, or is the city responsible? That might be something that you might want to look into. I talked to a lieutenant of the Cedar Rapids Police Department as of today, and I was told that if I see these people out about again, that I shouldn't say anything to them, that they are trespassing and the police department should be contacted because they are not on city property, they're in people's yards. And lastly, the TNR idea